Grand Rising, loved ones. Welcome back to another episode of Healing Wisdom with me, your favorite spiritual advisor, Empress Oracle. How y'all doing today? You know, today's a big day, right? It's the 11/11 portal. So a lot of intuition be heightened. And now is the time for you to just go ahead and set those intentions again. And don't forget, you have to work towards any intention that you set. You have to do active manifestation. But besides that, that's not what we're here to talk about today. All right. Today's topic is going to be about dealing with low self-esteem. All right. And I have experience with this because I remember there was one time I had low self-esteem and I didn't even realize the shit. So I'm going to tell you guys. All right. People with low self-esteem, they have a tendency to project onto others the love and the care, the self-worth that they should have for themselves. You know, they like to look at themselves. They like to consider themselves givers. Now, there's nothing wrong with being a giver because that's what I consider myself. I was like, oh, okay, I'm a giver, I'm a helper and stuff. But what we don't realize, and that's why I always like to stress the importance of reciprocity, because if you are okay and content to just keep giving to people and you're not receiving anything back, that's kind of like a sign of low self-esteem, because it's saying that you're not really knowing your full worth. And I mean, shit happens. Sometimes at the time when I was like that, I had a lot going on. I hadn't got fat. I was unhealthy, all types of shit. So I wasn't knowing my full worth. I wasn't knowing my full worth. But I had to snap out of it. I had to look at myself in the mirror and say, self. And self was like, me? And I was like, yeah, you. Okay? We better than that. We can't be doing this. We cannot live like this, self. All right? Because it will drain you. It will drain you energetically. It will drain you physically. It will drain you emotionally, spiritually, everything. Okay? And then eventually you will be pouring from an empty cup. All right? Excuse me, y'all. That was so unprofessional. But yeah, they rather focus on helping others and building them up instead of doing the inner work on themselves. And I'm going to tell y'all, the Nile is a river in Africa. All right, that's where it's at. That's where it's at. You know, a lot of times we don't want to look at ourselves and fix the things that we know are wrong. You know, we may have low self-esteem because we're not physically where we want to be. We're not physically fit. And instead of doing the work, you know, we'd rather sit and focus on something else. You know, focus on your boyfriend, your kids, more food. I mean, that's counterproductive. Sometimes, you know, you have to just tell yourself, like, I can do this. And what we need to realize is, you know, just like the world wasn't built in a day, building back up your self-esteem, it takes time, but you have to be willing to do the work. It's not going to happen overnight. The people that you see, like myself, because I'm very confident and I love myself very much. Having low self-esteem does not mean that you don't love yourself. Having low self-esteem, my lipstick be messing up, y'all. Having low self-esteem means that you're not putting enough into yourself. You are depreciating your own value. You are not accepting your worth. You're dimming your own light. Basically, you don't know your worth and your full value, your full potential. And then surprisingly, other people will see that shit. And you have the givers. That everything in life is 50-50. Everything in life is 50-50. I don't know if y'all ever heard that saying before, but I'm going to tell you that is a very true word, okay? You have the givers and you have the takers. And people, especially narcissists and sociopaths and mental manipulators, they can recognize people who do not know their worth or their value, because 9 times out of 10 other people see your potential before you do, because they're on the outside looking in. So once they can peep like, oh, this girl don't love herself. This guy doesn't know his worth. All right. He's sitting here messing with these bum ass hoes and he's really a king. He don't know his worth. They're just going to keep taking from you. They're going to keep just telling you, oh, you ain't shit. You ain't this. You ain't that. Blah, blah, blah. Your boyfriend is going to be like, oh, nah, you can't do that. Who you trying to lose weight for? Who you trying to look good for, huh? With your fat ass. Ain't nobody going to want you. Now, that never happened to me, because let me tell you something. I will fight you. But I'm just saying, these are examples. You know, they'll tell you those things to try to keep you in that low vibration, to try to keep you in that negative place, because they don't want you to realize your worth, because then they know once you realize your value, you're going to realize like, I can do better. I can do better than you. I can be with somebody who not only knows my worth, but instead of trying to knock me down to make themselves feel comfortable, they are building me up because they know their worth as well. And we are growing and building together. And that's not just in relationships as far as intimate relationships. That's with friendships and everything else too. All right. Just like those friends who always, you know what I'm saying, they want to compete with you. That's because they have low self-esteem. Because sometimes people will have low self-esteem, but they will try to cover it under a facade of extra bravado, or they'll be over cocky, overconfident. But you can tell when somebody has low self-esteem. As far as like a female, even a guy, you can tell when somebody around you has low self-esteem and they're trying to play it off like they think they are better than, because everything that they will say will be depreciating towards others, okay? They're always going to want people to feel lower than them. So everything they're going to say, if you have a high moment, they're going to be like, bring that shit back down. You know, they're going to be just like, y'all remember that commercial? It was for some insurance or something where he's like, oh, you got to be quicker than that. That's what they're going to be trying to do with your esteem, because theirs is low. And anytime you start doing better and you realize and you start practicing self-care, because that is what builds your self-esteem, self-care. Okay, they're gonna have the thing to say like, why you doing that? Who you trying to impress? Ain't nobody gonna want you X, Y, and Z. And that's when you say, fuck you. You say, you know what? Fuck you. Okay? Because if you do not know your worth, nobody else will. You set the standard for how you want to be treated. You set the standard for how you want to be looked at, how you want to be cared for, how you want to be, just everything. Everything. Nobody can tell you how good you are. Nobody can tell you what you are worthy of. Nobody can do that shit. Nobody can build your self-esteem but you. And that is something that we have to remember, guys. Stop looking for validation from other people. There are a lot of beautiful females that I see out here that are always constantly looking for validation from others. That is not going to build your self-esteem, because when those people leave, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? And when I say constantly looking for validation from others, I'm not just talking about, you know what I'm saying, having your ass and your titties out on the internet and stuff. No, I know females who will say self-depreciating things intentionally just so people can feed their egos. That's low-key narcissism as well, too. Alrighty? Pay attention to that. Pay attention to that. You don't need people to boost your self-esteem. You got to do it yourself. That's why it's very important to say those affirmations to yourself. A lot of people think affirmations are bullshit, but you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. How you think those them crooks and shit, how you think those scam artists and whatnot, how do you think they get so damn good? They tell themselves like, I'm the best, I'm the shit, and then all of a sudden, goddamn, they are. Okay, they got the best picture on America's Most Wanted and shit because they the best. So just apply that in a positive light. Look in the mirror. Tell yourself. If you feel ugly, look in the mirror and tell yourself, I'm beautiful. I'm a queen. I'm sexy. I love my body. I have the perfect body for me. I'm motivated, right? And then you fix it. You work towards it. And a lot of times we feel as though, because I used to feel this way. I used to expect things to fall right into my damn lap. And God was like, psych. He was like, you have to work for it. And then also too, it takes patience, which used to be one of my worst qualities. You have to turn your worst qualities into your best qualities. If you hate your stomach, if your stomach is the thing that you hate the most, work on it the most and turn it into your best feature. Okay? Don't always expect to look like everybody else. The goal to having high self-esteem is to work on being the best you. Because let me tell you something. If God felt like you needed somebody else to be like, he would have made you a twin. All right? Shout out to my twins. You know what I'm saying? Y'all was so good. God made two of y'all. You know what I'm saying? I make y'all feel good. You know what I'm saying. Let's keep going. But anyway, in order to cure low self-esteem, you first have to love yourself first before you try to find that love outside from friends, from family, from your significant other, anything. You have to love yourself first, regardless of how you look. That's unconditional love. How can you go and give unconditional love to others when you can't even give it to yourself? You're going to love people the way that you love yourself. So if you're not loving yourself right, nobody's going to love you right. And you're not going to be able to love others right. And that's period. That's period. Don't let nobody tell you no different. Because if they tell you that's bullshit, they're lying and they're not really your friend. Okay? But yes, you have to love yourself first. God made you this way for a reason. All right? Whether it is to fully learn self-worth, right? Or learn how to overcome self-confidence challenges, 9 times out of 10, it's something that you have to overcome, because regardless, life goes in cycles. Like I said, your spirit travels, okay? People, that's why we have old souls. That's why we have younger souls, because your soul travels. So you may have, in a past life, you might have been that bitch, but you might have been so cocky and arrogant that it made you not appreciate others. So therefore, God was like, all right, boom, this lifetime, we're going to flip the script. So you see how it feels, and you can work on that so you can be a better person and that your soul can evolve. All right. Stop just looking at things inside the box, y'all. Get out the box. Get out the box. Out of the box. Y'all remember that? But yes, love the skin you're in. If you don't like it, hold on, y'all. Hold my page sticking. Where was I? Love the skin you're in. If you don't like it, change it and become who you know you are within. Alrighty? Because can't nobody tell you. Let me tell you something. When I was hella fat, I felt like Nutty Professor. I felt like Professor Clump. I was like, this fat suit gots to come off, because this is not me. I need the bad bitch that I know I have inside of me to come out. So you know what I did? Doctors was telling me I would never be able to walk, function, stand up, run, do anything again. And I was like, I know you fucking lying, because can't nobody tell you. Can't nobody tell you what you're capable of but you. All right. And as long as you have your faith in God, you can do anything. You can conquer anything. All right. You can work on your self-esteem. Build yourself up. Stop looking outside of yourself to build up your self-esteem, because you will never have it. It will never happen. You have to be confident and secure in yourself. You have to love yourself. The first way to deal with low self-esteem is to love yourself first, unconditionally, regardless, because God made you that way, like I said, for a reason. It may be somebody else who looks just like you, right? Who's feeling the same way. And it might be up to you to set that example for that person, right? But you don't want to be a hypocrite, right? Right. So I need you guys and girls and animals, dogs, cats, horses, rats, everybody, love yourself. Remember, guys, don't think that this does not apply to you, because there are a lot of men who have low self-esteem, but they feel like that is a female ailment or something like that. And that is bull cocky. That's bull cocky, me say. Guys can have low self-esteem as well. And it's okay. Don't hold these things inside, because this is why so many men are being affected by mental health issues right now. Right now, because they don't know how to love themselves. They don't even know how to love others. They don't know how to love, period. And it's okay. It's all right. You can learn. Start with those affirmations. Keep telling yourself positive things about yourself. And trust me, you will believe it, and it will start manifesting. Say those affirmations to yourself. Say how good you are to yourself. Now, don't be an asshole and don't be cocky. Humility is a beautiful thing. You can be humble and have high self-esteem. You can be humble and confident. All right? Because when you have a little bit too much of that cockiness and that bravado, you might start tiptoeing on the line of narcissism. And we don't want that. We have enough of those in the world, male and female. Thank you for your service, by the way, narcissists. Great job. But work on that self-esteem, alrighty? Love yourself first, and that love will spill out onto others. Love yourself in everything that you do. Do your self-care practices besides your affirmations. Men and women, get a fucking pedicure. Oh, excuse my French. Get a pedicure, all right? Take care of your skin. Do facials. All those practices, not only is it self-care, but it is self-love. And as I said before, if you do not love yourself, how do you expect anybody else to love you? Just go ahead and chew on that. Don't forget to check me out on YouTube, Empress Oracle 333. And also, go ahead and check out my website, EmpressOracle333.com. Love you guys.